breaking down Lubbock Cooper sports. This is the Pirate Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score and the 100.7 The Score mobile app.
Welcome back in. We are jumping into the Pirate Fan Zone. Before we do that, I'm going to go through the playoff schedule one more time because Chris Baker's one of those teams. He's got a team that's still playing in it. In TAPS, Trinity Christian took care of business in Holiday yesterday. They beat Grace Prep 15-1 in 5 innings, 4-3. Had to sweep the doubleheader, did so, took care of business. Now they go on to the TAPS 5A state tournament. They play next Monday at 4 p.m. against Fort Worth Christian at UT Arlington. If they win, they will play at 1 p.m. in the state championship game the next day. In UIL, 3 teams alive and well. We'll start with Lubbock Cooper since he's sitting right here. Pirates play. By the way, Lamar called me on it. I referred to them as the Pirates on Monday night. He got so. If I say Patriots, you're welcome to return the favor. The Pirates play Argyle, which it's late May. It's just it's time for Lubbock Cooper and Argyle to play. They play a best of 3 series back in Holiday. They play at 7:30 tomorrow, Thursday. Then again, 5 p.m. Friday. Game 3 is right afterwards, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Game 3 to follow if necessary. In 6A, Friendship is in the regional championship round, regional semifinals.
Regional semifinals.
They play Flower Mound Marcus, which is a new. I don't remember them playing them in the playoffs anytime recently. They kind of broke the cycle by winning last week. They beat Byron Nelson 6-1, 4-1 to advance. The Tigers and Marauders, which is really cool mascot name, play at 3 p.m. tomorrow at ACU, and then again 6 p.m. Friday at ACU with the second game to follow if necessary. Just mention that Trent Hilliard, that is going to be a hopping place because Friendship, Midland High, and Amarillo High are all at that same venue. So there's going to be triple headers or more both days. So we'll see. That probably will fill that joint up, I would imagine. And then finally, Liberty in 4A is playing Randall, which Chris Baker's a little bit familiar with them from a few years ago. They play at Wilder Field at Wayland Baptist, 6 p.m. Friday for Game 1, 1 p.m. Saturday, and then Game 2 to follow. Were you here yet when Lubbock Cooper played Randall at Wilder? Who was it that hit the walk-off?
That was the walk-off.
Who was that?
It was Ethan Guerrero hit the walk-off. Yep.
I just remember that was a great series. I remember Holt Gibson playing a big role. So good luck to Liberty because Randall is not the same Randall team, but that they're going to bring some tradition and all 3 of these series setup is great. And Chris, I mentioned it, Chris. This is the 3rd time in 4 years against Argyle.
It's 3rd time in 3 years.
It's Grapevine and Argyle that you've kind of bumped into a few times. You beat Grapevine the first time, ran into Argyle, had them right there.
And then I guess I can't remember. Yeah, we then beat Argyle and then lost to Grapevine 2 years in a row.
Yeah, so this is old hat. There's not going to be a whole lot of secrets. The faces are different. To me, that's an advantage for you guys, and we'll get into that in these next 2 segments. How excited are you guys for this? Because, like I said, at some point it's like, oh, we've got to play Argyle again. But your guys also know that Argyle's going to bring out the best in them.
Yeah, I mean, I think in a series like this, you're not as worried as a team coming out flat or anything like that. They're a good team, and at this point in the year, everybody is, and that's it's going to be a good challenge. But I think our guys are confident, and we're just going to go out there and play baseball like we know how.
And the scenario's almost exactly like last year. You beat Clint Horizon 2 one-run games. I want to be, as a coach, now we were just talking in the hallway, you're still a young coach, but man, those Clint Horizon series are going to start graying your hair a little bit.
Yes, and they have a good team, and they're improving every year. But we've played them, and they have what I think is one of the best right-handed pitchers that we've seen all year. Frankie Miller, he's got some of the best stuff that you run across, and if you win against him, you feel like that's a job well done.
4 games against them in 2 years, 4 one-run games. That's incredible.
Yeah.
It's one thing if you're playing Monterey like you did a couple years ago. If you're so familiar, you know things. Okay, 1-run games, but 4 games against one team at that point of the playoffs. But to me, and I think this was the case last year, that got your guys ready for Argyle. It toughened their skin even more than it already was. Do you feel like that could be the case with this group as well?
Absolutely, and I think you go down there, you see good pitching, and you play some intense games where you're in some really pressure moments, and that's you always like to. Those are good when you win those, but
you've done that a few times.
I think it prepares you just for pressure moments, that are coming down the road.
You guys had several guys deliver and come up big, but the one who caught my attention going back through stuff was Jadrian Salinas. How big was that guy for you guys in 2 games?
He was huge, and he was big in the series before. I mean, I think, the game 2 we scored every run with 2 outs, and having a 2-out RBI, like a big double there for us, and then game 1 he scored both runs as well. That's one of those guys that just you love that for him because the way that he works and everything like that, and it just couldn't be more proud of him.
And he's I don't know if prototypical is the right word, but he's a great example of a Lubbock Cooper player because he was on the varsity last year or no?
He was on varsity last year.
But didn't play a ton, gets his chance now as a senior, and he's making the most of it. You and Friendship the last several years, you've had guys that, because you've had some depth, had to we talked about that one day, they have to show them, or they get their chance on JV, kind of learn the trade, and they get to varsity, they're ready, and Jadrian's been ready.
Yes, sir, he has, and he added 20 pounds of muscle in the summer, and decided I'm going to dedicate myself to this, and you've seen it on the field.
He's second base, and then he slides to shortstop when Ryan Rodriguez pitches.
Yes.
So there's obviously some coach trust there because those are 2 pretty important positions. So Pirates beat Clint Horizon. You followed the same exact path so far. You beat Wichita Falls Memorial in the first round, beat Clint Horizon. Now you get Argyle. For better or worse, there's no grapevine waiting on the other side this year because some stuff that happened. So you guys have to focus on this week, though. Best of 3 series, we'll talk more about that when we come back in the Pirate Fan Zone on 100.7 The Score.
Bringing you the latest news from Lubbock Cooper Athletics. This is the Pirate Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back in. We are in the second segment of the Pirate Fan Zone. We run through that again for Lubbock Cooper to make sure I get the information out there. Best of 3 series, Class 5A, Division II regional semifinal. Lubbock Cooper and Argyle will play a best of 3, as I said. 7:30 Thursday at, I found out the name, Jake Cottrell Field in Holiday. And then they come back at 5 p.m. Friday, Game 3 to follow if necessary. Chris, why so late tomorrow? Was that just a matter of giving people fans, parents time to get there?
I think so. And, we're also trying to, I think, stay out of the hottest part of the day. And,
understandable.
Really, that came from them. Argyle, I think that's what they're accustomed to. That's usually when they play in the Metroplex area. So,
for you guys, do you stay the night or you come back?
Oh, we'll stay the night.
Yeah, because that's a late night, and it could be a late night. Hopefully, knock on wood, hopefully it's not. You're really going to enjoy that setting because it's just a little country town, just a field out in the middle of nowhere, and it's a great field. It's a great facility. You guys played in Wink last.
Yes. And
I've heard nothing but positive about that.
My goodness, it was, rivals college facilities, I would say.
I love the fact that those spots are popping up around here because it's cool that you and Memorial played home and home. That's cool. You could sleep in your own bed or whatever, but getting to experience it's almost like going back in time a little bit. You grew up in San Angelo.
Yes, sir.
So not a small town, but you probably, if you played at McMurray, you probably played in some smaller college venues. So,
oh yeah.
How did your? I exchanged messages with a couple of your parents who were excited, obviously. Your game 2, Connor, it got a little dicey there at the end. But I know I exchanged messages with you. As long as the closer gets the last out before the other team gets that last run, that's all you want from him.
Absolutely. And, really game 1 and game 2, they had chances at the end. And Connor's just such a good, relief pitcher or closer. When those juices start flowing, he's almost better.
You guys have gotten 4 games pitched well. We've got a lot of games pitched well this season, but the 4 games in the playoffs have been pitched well. Has Jacob given up a run in 2 starts? You didn't against it. You didn't.
I'm almost hesitant to answer
that.
Yeah,
I'll put you on the spot.
But you're right. Yes, no.
That's a pretty good place to start. When you're not giving up runs, that's a pretty good part of the recipe.
Yes,
you
sir.
guys have had games where you've swung the bat really well, and other games where, in fact, that's what Trinity yesterday. They blew out Grace Prep in the first game and had to kind of grind and chip away. In the playoffs, it doesn't matter as long as you find a way to get it done. And this team, we were just talking in between the breaks. You guys have had great teams at Lubbock Cooper for years. It didn't matter who the coach was. But I like this team because of the makeup. You have guys who have been there before, who've had success with your baseball program, who've come from football and had success, and you have some guys that paid their dues and bided their time. I could sense you like this group as well.
Absolutely, and it's we're different year to year in all those teams that we've had, and just we're a lot different than we were last year in so many ways, and it's enjoyable as a coach to see, for one, kids step up and have the success that they're having, and two, just they make it their own. Make their own. Who's going to be the leaders and who's going to do the different things and what kind of team we're going to be. And so it's been a lot of fun.
And you don't necessarily play different. You don't play a different style, but you guys do some things better than you did last year. Just like last year, you did some things better than you did the year before. And I'll go back to what I said. I haven't looked at Argyle's roster to see who they have back. I know they were loaded the last couple of years. I know a couple of their kids wound up at Fort Worth Christian because that's who Trinity Christian plays next week in the state semifinals, including their potential top 10 draft pick. But I think you guys have an advantage in that department because they're not going to see a whole lot of faces that they recognize. The game planning for you guys can't be easy for that. Like Memorial getting ready for you had to stop and think, these aren't the same guys. We're going to have to figure out what to do. Now, Horizon obviously game planned pretty well, or they were pretty dang good. But Argyle's not going to be familiar with Ryan Rodriguez pitching a bunch, with Jacob Garcia, who's didn't throw a whole lot of varsity time last year. If you get to game 3, Wyatt Hare, same thing. I think you guys have an advantage there where your unfamiliarity, I don't know if that's a word or not, should be an advantage for you. We're coming up on a break. I'll let you marinate on that for a minute. When we come back, we'll talk more about Lubbock Cooper and Argyle this week in the regional semifinal round.
Breaking down Lubbock Cooper sports. This is the Pirate Fan Zone podcast from 100.7 The Score.
Welcome back in. I'm with second-year Lubbock Cooper coach Chris Baker. So you saw the two gentlemen with me before, and first thing I said is they're now former coaches at Friendship. And Paul Page looked at me and said, "That's the first time I've heard that." So I'm calling you second-year coach. I'm going the other direction with you.
Okay.
You've got your team back, and I'm not just blowing smoke because you're sitting here. I thought you and your coaches evolved more this year. Not that you were bad last year, but that second year, you start to get more comfortable. You start to identify guys. I think I was teasing Taylor McMacken the last time I saw him. He's probably going to ask for a pay raise at some point because his pitchers have been dang good. But that all comes from the top down. I think your guys have gotten comfortable with you. You've gotten more comfortable being a head coach. And you're still right in the middle of it. But has that been the case for you going through this season?
Oh, absolutely. And, fortunately at Lubbock Cooper, we haven't had much turnover ever. And, right there we have, I'm in a new spot and we bring in 3 new coaches on staff as well. And everybody's in a new role, and it took some time to figure it out. But I mean, they do a fantastic job, and it's a brotherhood. It's kind of a team within a team, and that's the great thing about it.
And I'll throw a bouquet out to Chad Reynolds as well, and Markello. The three teams still alive had some coaching change, some major coaching change, and have just adjusted. Now, all that said, I like you, so I'm not throwing shade at you here. You've also got a bunch of dudes out at Lubbock Cooper who grew up expecting to be good baseball players, expecting to have good baseball teams, expecting to be alive this deep in the playoffs. You're still a young coach, but watching your guys, I mentioned that combination that you have. Bentley Seaberger, Bentley has never been was not a varsity big major contributor until this year. Jacob Garcia, Jadrian Salinas, who else am I missing? Wyatt Hare. Watching those guys that grew up in that program, taking that and putting that uniform on and saying, all right, it's our time to be good now. How cool has that been for you?
It's awesome, and that tradition is, priceless. Our kids expect, to win, and that's, when you do that as a program and you have that expectation, it changes things.
I'm trying to think in my head if I'm missing. I know Jason Calvillo's he's not been a varsity guy.
Yeah.
So you've got that mix has been very cool to watch you guys kind of form. And this reminds me, not exactly, but the first time you played Argyle, if I remember right, Brad telling me you guys started out like 4-13, which you were a little bit better than that to start the year, but you kept building and finding and moving puzzle pieces and getting things to fit, and guys got more comfortable. And I know you coaches don't like to necessarily single people out. We've sung Ryan Rodriguez's praises a lot, so we'll steer clear of Ryan. But is there one of these older guys that's playing varsity for the first time that's really become one of those glue pieces for you guys?
Oh, so many of them, really. I mean, I think, you could go up and down the roster and say that, we wouldn't be where we're at without any of those guys. And the one that kind of like stands out to me is probably Barrett Reno. He's a sophomore, started first two tournaments on JV, and we bring him up the Lubbock tournament, and first at bat he hits a ball off the scoreboard and kind of never looked back. And
because he all of a sudden he's in a leadoff spot, so you didn't just bring him up, you put him in a pretty vital spot.
Well, we knew he could do it. We just, we didn't know if he could do it at that level, and
so
he can.
Full disclosure, the first game I covered you guys was against Memorial in the UMB Classic, and I was going through your lineup, and I knew Ryan, I knew Cole, and then I started looking around. I was like, wait, who are all these guys? Because I think Jack Slane, what year is he?
He's a junior.
So another first-year varsity guy. You guys had a lot of names that didn't look familiar to me. Now, that's just a guy who's watching you guys. In the off season, when did you start thinking, okay, we're going to have to fit some guys together that maybe haven't got this experience?
Well, I mean, that was the challenge, the fun part of it. And, we didn't have it pieced all together, and, we're still, looking at, can we get better here? Can we get better there? And I think, pretty early in the fall, we were determined that we were going to have to, change guys' positions or do something like that, just to get to what we're looking for to be that kind of team we want to be.
Well, it's worked because the Pirates are again in the regional